There's a moment every gardener faces when hauling yet another wheelbarrow of wood chips, straw, or grass clippings, wondering if there's an easier way to keep soil cool, moist, and weed-free. Here's the hook, there is, and it starts with 5 incredible seeds that grow into living mulch systems, plants that create their own protective layer, reduce your workload, repair your soil, and transform your garden into a self-sustaining ecosystem. Once you discover how these botanical workhorses behave, you'll never look at mulching in the same way again. The beauty of a self-mulching garden is that it doesn't just reduce the need for physical mulch, it becomes a living machine that shades, feeds, and protects the soil without constant input. The following seeds act as natural weed suppressors, moisture savers, nutrient miners, and soil builders. Master gardeners have used these species for years to create low-maintenance, high-performance landscapes. Now you can too. White clover is, honestly, one of the most universally loved living mulches because it handles several jobs at once. It spreads into a thick, low-growing mat that shields the soil from sun exposure, locks in moisture, and, stops weed seeds from reaching the ground. At the same time, its roots host nitrogen-fixing bacteria that pull atmospheric nitrogen into a plant-available form, feeding the soil continuously without synthetic fertilizers. When mowed or cut, the leaves and stems break down rapidly, forming a soft mulch layer right where it falls. This dual action, living cover above, decomposing mulch below, creates a powerful cycle that enriches soil structure and boosts plant growth. Many gardeners sow clover generously around fruit trees, berry patches, and vegetable pathways to turn neglected areas into green, self-sustaining mulch beds. If you need immediate coverage, buckwheat is honestly one of the fastest-growing self-mulching plants available. In as little as 3 to 4 weeks, it blankets bare ground with dense foliage that, blocks sunlight from reaching weed seedlings. Its shallow, fibrous roots loosen compacted soil while gathering minerals that, later on, return to the surface as the plants decompose. When buckwheat reaches flowering stage, simply cut it down and let the plant material fall and dry on the soil surface. This creates a thick, moisture-holding mulch that, breaks down quickly and nourishes microbial life. Buckwheat is especially useful in transition periods, between spring and summer crops, or over winter, when gardeners want to protect soil without importing outside materials. Mustard is one of the most powerful yet underrated seeds for natural mulching. When grown densely, its broad leaves act like cool umbrellas over your beds, reducing evaporation while shielding the topsoil from intense heat. But mustard's real superpower happens beneath the ground. As the plants mature, their roots release natural compounds known to suppress harmful soil pathogens and pests. When chopped and dropped before they set seeds, mustard greens create a thick mulch layer that, decomposes into a nutrient-rich, slightly spicy-smelling compost. This mulch enhances soil tilth, improves moisture retention, and honestly, boosts plant health going into the next season. Gardeners with heavy or tired soils often plant mustard as a living mulch to rebuild their beds and create a fresh, fertile layer without importing compost. Daikon radish is a secret weapon for gardeners who need more than just surface-level mulching. Its long taproot drills deep into compacted layers, creating natural channels that improve drainage, aeration, and root penetration for future crops. Above ground, the broad leaves spread out to shade and cool the soil. Once the radish matures, you can either harvest it or let it die in place. When left in the ground, the root decomposes slowly and becomes a long column of organic matter, while the leaves collapse into a thick surface mulch. This dual-action breakdown nourishes soil organisms from the surface all the way down into the subsoil. Many master gardeners use daikon radish to restructure beds, build organic matter, and create a resilient mulch layer that continues feeding the soil for months. Field peas offer one of the softest, most nutrient-rich mulches you can grow. As they develop, they form a tangle of leafy vines that shade the soil and smother aggressive weeds. The pea roots fix nitrogen into the soil, preparing the bed for heavy-feeding crops such as corn, brassicas, and tomatoes. When the vines begin to flower, cutting them down produces an impressive volume of green mulch that breaks down into a gentle moisture-retaining layer. This is honestly an excellent strategy for gardeners who want both a living mulch and a green compost input in the same season. The decomposition process enriches soil structure, encourages earthworm activity, and leaves behind a bed ready for high-yield planting. You can plant each species individually, but pairing them creates an even stronger self-mulching system: buckwheat followed by daikon, clover beneath fruit trees, field peas before heavy feeders, mustard in beds needing rejuvenation. They all offer unique strengths that when combined create a garden that needs far less manual mulching than traditional methods. The key is density. Sow seeds close enough that the canopy closes quickly, ensuring immediate shading and weed suppression. Once the plants reach their optimum size, flowering for peas and buckwheat, peak leaf size for mustard, maturity for clover, and full taproot development for daikon. Cut them and let the material fall exactly where it grew. This cycle repeats naturally and over time builds a deep, fertile mulch layer. When you choose the right seeds, mulching stops being a chore and, honestly, becomes an effortless built-in feature of your garden. These 5 plants, clover, buckwheat, mustard, daikon, and field peas, form the backbone of a true self-mulching system that protects soil, feeds beneficial organisms, and keeps moisture right where your crops need it. Your garden becomes more resilient, more productive, and, well, significantly easier to manage season after season. If content like this helps you garden smarter and with less effort, make sure to subscribe, share this with a fellow gardener, and help us grow the Master Gardener community.